All right, if I could get everybody's attention. First off, thanks for being here tonight. It is 6 o'clock. I'd like to open the Halifax Board of Selectmen meeting for Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. We are here in the Great Hall. It is 6 o'clock, as I said. This meeting has been posted in accordance with the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20B, and pursuant to Chapter 30A, Section 20F. Notice is being made that this meeting is being recorded and will be posted on Area 58 Community Access Channel. The board chair, that's myself, reasonably anticipates the following matters will be discussed and or voted on at this meeting, and agenda items may be taken out of order for time management considerations. Now, to let you guys all know the bad news, we do have a small executive session we have to take care of before we start the open session. I will entertain a motion to enter executive session, the Town Administrator's Office, pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21, to discuss interim town administrator, pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, and pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A1, to discuss the discipline or dismissal of or complaints or charges against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual. We will also be discussing the approval of executive minutes for June 17th, 2025, and August 26th, 2025.
So moved.
Second. All right, we'll do a roll call vote since it's going into executive session. Bill Smith?
Yes.
Tom Pratt?
Yes.
Myself, Jonathan Seelig, is a yes. Motion passes 3-0. Guys, we hope it to be about 15 minutes, no longer. I've been told the Chiefs will do magic tricks and tell jokes. So they will keep you busy for about 15 minutes. We'll be right back. 19, I would like to reopen the Board of Selectmen meeting for Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. We will start, as we always start. If you guys, those can stand, can join me in saluting the Pledge of Allegiance here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Before we get going here, just something that came to our attention in the last couple weeks. The town of Halifax lost a good man. Our Board of Health agent, Bob Valerie, passed away unexpectedly recently, and it's a loss for Halifax. Not only was he a great Board of Health agent, he was a good guy. He was the kind of guy that when you walked in a room, you knew it and you felt glad to see him. So we lost a good health agent, we lost a friend. For those interested, visitation will be Thursday, the 23rd at Cartmel Davis Funeral Home down in Manomet, and the celebration of life will be the 24th from 10 a.m. to 10:45 at that same funeral home. If you guys don't mind, I'd like to entertain a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. In light of that news, I would like to take something a little bit out of order here. So normally our town administrator update is at the end, but seeing that this is related to this situation, Bob, I'd like to go a little bit out of order here and introduce to the town the man that will be acting as our Board of Health agent in the interim. Bob, please take it away.
Okay, so Bob Valerie was he was hosting a group called the Halifax Excellence, and you can get into that, Bob. We have Bob Bucher here, who came in that next day to talk to me, to say that they're here to help. It's a group of, I think, 7 or 8 health agents throughout the area, and what they do is they support every other city and town that they're involved in. So we're fortunate that we have Bob Bucher stepping in, and he's going to make sure that the inspections are done and that the health issues are governed and overseen by him and others with that group. So I just want to bring Bob up to introduce him to everybody, introduce him to the board. May not have, I don't know how many have met him before, but Bob, I know because I see you at these meetings that are held here, monthly. So if you can
right up to the podium here.
yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping us out, Bob. Thank you. Thanks, man.
Good evening, everyone. Robert Bucher, Bob Bucher. As the town manager, Bob Fennessy, explained, it's called the Public Health Excellence Group. It's a 6-town group. It's grant funded. Halifax is actually the host community. Bob Valerie hired me in late 2022 or 3, late 2022 as the shared services coordinator for that 6 communities. It's the 3 Bridgewaters, Halifax, Middleborough, and Raynham. Bob was a close friend of mine as well as a colleague. So I definitely, I felt a sense of duty to step in. We had already developed a cross-jurisdictional capacity for all the health agents for the 6 communities, as well as myself, credentialed health agent, to be able to operate in any of the 6 communities. So being that I was already working directly with Bob here in Halifax, it felt most appropriate for me to step in on the interim. It actually is going to, at least through FY26, be covered through that grant funding. So it's at no cost to the town of Halifax, which is a bonus. So, and we're just going to take it as it goes. I work closely with Peggy Selter as well for like 5 years now, one way or the other. And I look forward to serving the citizens of Halifax, and you can call the office if you have any questions at any time. Thank you, chiefs, also. We'll be getting to know you guys as well.
And to a credit to Bob, and speaking with him after the news we got, he's whatever you need, and he says he wants to help in honor of Bob. So kudos to you, Bob. Thank you, and welcome aboard. All right, so on a heavy note, let's lighten things up a little bit here. We're going to jump down to A on your agenda, acknowledging Halifax Police and Fire for their actions for a water rescue on September 11th, 2025. I'd like to bring up our chiefs here. We have Deputy Chief Benner, Chief Witham with the Fire Department, and Chief Shavs for the Police Department.
Good evening, members of the board. Family, friends, and residents of Halifax. It is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you this evening to recognize the remarkable groups of individuals whose actions on the night of September 11th, 2025 went far beyond the call of duty. Their bravery, professionalism, and teamwork represents the best of what it means to serve this community. That evening, a 911 call was placed by a resident, Judith Necessian, to the Regional Old Colony Center reporting someone yelling for help around East Monpont Lake. Halifax emergency personnel responded immediately and without hesitation. Despite the darkness and difficult conditions, our first responders from fire, police, and EMS personnel demonstrated exceptional courage, skill, and unwavering commitment to preserve life. We would like to begin by recognizing the coordination and professionalism of the ROC dispatchers, whose efforts were vital to the success of the rescue. Their calm and effective communication ensured that the help was dispatched without delay, and that responding units were provided with crucial real-time information. We also want to give a special recognition to the individuals who were directly involved with the water rescue. Halifax Police Officer Bonkarewski, Raditz, and Shaheen. Halifax Fire Captain Kuzo, Root, and Robinson, and off-duty firefighter Jennifer Stratton. Working together, these individuals mounted a quick-thinking and resourceful rescue effort. Officer Bonkarewski first acquired a kayak and navigated out into the lake despite limited visibility and numerous obstacles. He located the individual in the water. Officer Bonkarewski immediately assisted her safely to shore with assistance by off-duty firefighter Jennifer Stratton, who also had paddled out on a kayak. The coordinated efforts by first responders played a major role in the success of this operation. Police Officer Raditz and Sheen, along with Captain Kuso, firefighter Root, and Robertson, played a crucial role in the rescue operations, contributing to the safety of the victim and ensure her well-being. This operation was further supported by mutual aid from Pembroke, Hanson Fire, who supported additional rescue equipment and aerial drone support. Boston Med Flight assisted by transporting to the Boston-based hospital, where she made a full recovery. The response was a textbook example of interagency cooperation, demonstrating how every role from dispatch to on-the-ground personnel was crucial in saving a life. Thanks to the training, professionalism, and self-service of everyone involved, a life was saved that night. On behalf of the Halifax Police and Fire Department, we are proud to commend each one of these individuals publicly. Your actions reflect the highest standard of public service. We appreciate your dedication to the safety and well-being of our community. And right now, we'd like to call up each individual one by one, and the police and fire chief will be presenting them with an award.
Firefighter, paramedic, Daniel Bruce on here.
He's on a call.
Duty calls.
I think he's on a call too.
Firefighter, paramedic, Mark Robinson.
Kuzo's not here either. Kuzo's not here either. Yeah.
Captain Jeffrey Kuzo is not here as well. He's out on a run, so hopefully he'll be back shortly. We'll give it up to John. Firefighter, paramedic Jennifer Strandon from Duxbury Fire, who is off call up for Officer Daniel Shaheen. Officer Stephen Raditz. Last but not least, Officer Michael Bonkowski.
Yeah.
Do a quick picture with everybody?
Yeah, all right, absolutely.
Can we have everybody down for a quick picture with the group?
Sergeant Schleifer, you want to picture Schleifer? The other room, and we have a left family picture there. You guys all right? Got everybody? 3, 2, 1. All right, good job. Right up here to the right for the families.
Thanks, Chief. Yeah, and as the chief said, we have the Selectmen meeting room back there. It's got a nice insignia, a town seal, some flags. If family members want to get pictures, by all means, have at it. Just don't wreck the joint. All right, we'll give them a little bit.
Should do this every meeting.
I know. It's nice to have good news. All right, and now, guys, let's go back up and affirm some warrants and commitments. Bill, if you don't mind taking it away.
I move to affirm approval of the following warrant and commitments. Vendor warrant number 35 for $2,541,418.88. Ambulance commitments 10/6/25 to 10/12/25 for $151,237.70.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimous. Sorry, Bill.
I move to approve the following warrants. Payroll warrant number 36 for $480,650.35. Vendor warrant number 37 for $991.71. Vendor warrant number 37 for $36,628.57. Withholding warrant number 38 for $171,001.61.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes unanimous. All right, thank you. We're going to jump down now to B in our agenda. We have Ellen Snowinbus here. She has a request for discussion on financial condition of the town and potential override initiative in MBTA planning. Ellen, do you want to face out or face in? What's better for you?
Half and half, is that okay?
Well, either, however you want to do it. Yeah, however, as long as we can see you and hear you, go for it. Yeah.
I'm Ellen Snowdis, 106 South Street, and this is Sam DeFresney Cox, who's a friend of mine. And we've got a couple of other neighbors here from Halifax, and we were just, Sam and I watched on live TV the Hanson Town meeting that just took place, where they passed the MBTA zoning rule. And then last night, West Bridgewater also passed it. And we were just curious. We thought it may be a good opportunity to just see like where we stand. We're just unclear as to where Halifax stands, and is there a plan?
Sure. We're currently in litigation with the state. So there's really not much we can get into until that litigation is done. Again, our lips are a little bit tied until that verdict is rendered. And once that verdict comes down, we will act accordingly as to what decision comes into the town. So,
Is there any information that the townspeople could benefit from in terms of what grants have been lost in terms of money that's on the table that hasn't been dispersed? Or
we did have one, Bob, I remember, that came in that we were ineligible for because of our MBTA status. Bob, do you remember what that was off the top of your head?
DOER.
Okay.
DOER grant, energy. And I think it was about $135,000.
$135,000 energy grant, which unfortunately...
And it wasn't denied, it was just put on hold, pending the end of the year. We have till 12/31/25 to get into compliance. If we don't, then it's gone.
Okay. Yeah, and at the Hanson meeting, one of the points that I didn't realize that I thought might be valuable for people to know is if the town doesn't take action, there's a potential that the state would make another designation of property. So
where we would lose control of being able to choose it and have it just be paper compliance.
Sure.
Which, in the end, we've sort of been talking, like, it works out better for everybody. The town doesn't lose money, and there is more housing, and we still get the money that the town so desperately needs.
Yeah, it puts us in a tough situation up here, I'll be honest with you guys, because I think we were all at that town meeting in December, and the town spoke pretty loudly that they didn't want to go along with MBTA zoning. And I did feel personally, I don't want to speak for the board, that it was our duty up here to uphold what the town wanted to do. And again, we can't really get into too much of this because it's an active case
we just kind of wanted to know.
So,
we just didn't have any idea where we stood.
Yeah, so we're waiting. It's in the court's hands right now. We're waiting to hear what their decision is. And once we get that decision, we'll see what it is, and
we were
we'll go
also
from there.
thinking like that the financial situation of the town, if an override is necessary, how soon will townspeople know the amount and what the decision will be, how the decision will be made, because it was made clear to us by friends in other towns that the sooner you know about the need for an override for town services, the sooner grassroots organizations
Sure.
can get going. So I would just urge, a decision
Sure.
to be made in a, in a timely fashion so
Sure.
that we can help.
I will say, we haven't really got the budget. We have members of our FinCom here. We haven't officially kind of gotten our budget season up and running yet, which isn't uncommon. It's still October. Personally, I will share my thoughts. Given what we had to do last year just to make ends meet, I am fairly certain there will be a sizable gap in finances next year. I think I'm not speaking out of turn with the FinCom here. We're not there yet. We're not there yet, but I do agree what you're saying, that with overrides, the quicker you guys get the message out, the more successful those overrides can be. It's just we're not at a point yet to make a comment. Tom, I see you moving. What do you need?
Yeah, just two things. One on each, the MBTA, the grants, and then the override grassroots. Yes, we've lost some grants. As long as we're non-compliant, we'll continue to lose some. I think they have totaled near 300,000-400,000 or so over the course of however many years each year. I think that is still in the mind of the opponents of the MBTA Act, a fraction of what it would cost to support the housing district that could come. So yes, we're losing money in the short term for sure, but I think those that are opposed to it would counter that that's a fraction of the money that it would take to sustain that development. Item number two is I would just counter that I would get all the grassroots organizations that you have available to you in order for a potential override. I think that's the likely course, and the more momentum, to your point, Ellen, the more momentum we have, the more people involved, the more likelihood of success of that number.
Excellent.
Yeah, just two more things. One was that a lot of us were very disappointed that a presentation wasn't able to be made at the town meeting. And I know that, emotions are high, but I feel like some people may not have had the full range of actual information to make an educated decision. And then also we, what was the other point? Oh, yes, that I was after the Hanson Town meeting, I looked at the Hanson Town website and was actually very impressed by, they had a lot of information in a Q&A format. And it was, obviously that was just one issue, but I would really strongly encourage us to have like FAQ and
FAQs.
Q&A
Like actual
information, like questions and answers about the override available on either on it, because with social media you get all sorts of misinformation out there, and if there's some place that you can point people to for just actual factual, it can be a big
because
help.
obviously we're all there at the meetings we've had, especially about the MBTA. No one could really listen on either side, because everyone was just getting so escalated and louder, and misinformation was flying all around. So I think, Elle and I were talking, like, what is the best way? Using the website is one thing, but what are other strong ways you can use to get factual information out to the people? Where, I felt so bad, especially some of the more elderly people coming in who were afraid that their house halfway across town was going to be taken by eminent domain because that's what they had been told. Like, I felt genuinely horrified that these people were that scared because that was the misinformation they were being told, that, yes, I'm just going to say it, all the immigrants were coming in to take all the housing. When basically, thank you, Karina, I'm going to use your phrase, instead of calling it low-income housing, or they're saying housing for immigrants, workforce housing. It's so that the people who actually work in the town could still actually afford to live here, which makes a much larger sense of community when everyone is involved and all working together. Because, okay, you went to eat a meal down the road and your server and then you get to have a nice chat with that. Like, it just creates more of a sense of a town and a community versus everybody just arguing with everybody else over things that might not even be the facts.
Yeah, you're making a lot of good points, but I do want to just circle back quick on not having the chance to get the real information. We did have a couple of seminars here in town, open forums. Yeah, so it's not, I don't want to say it's not accurate, but we did have Old Colony Planning Council put together a presentation, explain the program with real facts, you know,
They gave
real
a lot
hard
of
data.
facts.
Right,
Great
so,
job.
so it was out there,
It
whether
was the
people,
listening end.
yeah, whether people decided to go to those meetings or have their listening ears on, as we like to say, that's a whole other animal.
I mean, those YouTube, there was 2 sessions that Cody hosted.
Correct.
There was
Yep.
2 specifically with the FinCom and others. I think those were viewed less than 20 times each, and the same people were in attendance for both.
Yep.
Correct.
So it wasn't completely for lack of effort, and those were
no,
those
it
were
wasn't.
posted online. So to your point about frequently asked questions on the website, I 100% agree. But the mobility of that platform didn't extend very far the last time, despite the best efforts of everyone who was up here and did the work behind the scenes, and the zoning bylaw review committee, the FinCom, and others. That went by the wayside,
Yeah, no,
not
we're
for lack
not
of
putting
effort.
this on you guys
Yeah,
at
yeah,
all.
I
That's
understand.
not our
Yep.
intention. It's just how we felt like the dynamic was.
Sure.
I think, unfortunately, we're a little bit in a holding pattern with the MBTA until we get our stuff back from the court.
Sure.
You know, and that will kind of
Appreciate that.
dictate which way, you know, what happens. Couple of questions. You know what, ladies first, and then we'll go to Frank. If you could you just got to identify your name and address, if you don't mind.
Sorry, Robin Maloney, 10 Holmes Street.
Robin Maloney, 10 Home Street. There you go.
I was just wondering, were those videos linked to the town website at all?
They were.
Yes.
Yeah, they were. And unfortunately, as Tom said, they were barely viewed.
Yeah.
You know, so we can put as much information as we can out there. If the people don't want to watch it or hear it,
Yeah.
it's...
I've lived in town for over 40 years, though, and there's usually a presentation at the town meeting that the decision is made at. And that was not your, you know,
Yeah.
it's just, there was a frustration for a lot of us that we expected a full presentation with just the information
Sure.
from Old Colony, and it wasn't forthcoming.
I'm trying to remember, and I'm sorry I don't remember, was Old Colony there the night of that
Yes,
meeting?
they were there.
Yeah, we had representatives there from Old Colony as well, so.
Yeah.
And they didn't make a
unfortunate.
presentation?
Not on the night of the
They
vote.
were
Not on the night, okay.
They
Sorry,
were
I
going
don't-
to, but...
But here's the thing
decision was
about
made not
that.
to.
A couple years ago, Lloyd from Thorndike spoke at a town meeting, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not an expert in town meeting, but I believe there has to be permission granted
For a
an
non-resident.
out-of-town person or organization to speak.
Correct.
Thorndike never received that express permission. They spoke out of turn at that meeting 2 years ago in December. I don't know if it wasn't requested by the OR, PC, whatever that is.
Yeah, OCPC.
I'm quite certain we didn't deny them access, but it's not customary for out-of-town residents to be given permission to have a platform.
Well, they had been hired by the town to do the, to do
Correct.
the work.
To do, same as Thorndike, but it's not customary for out-of-town organizations to have platform at town meeting, just so we're all on the same
Tuesday
page.
vote for the town
Yep.
body.
Correct,
Yep.
correct.
Frank, do you mind? Oh, yeah, come on up, Frank. Yeah.
Frank Johnston.
Yeah, I need to sit anyway.
On the budget, we had our meeting last night, FinCon last night, and Robert's got the budgets out to all the departments, so it has started. We're in full swing with the budget, so it's going.
No, I know there's a movement to get the ball rolling sooner, historically soon, you know, compared to other years. And I would echo what these folks are saying here, especially this year. The sooner we can get figures, the better. I know that can be challenging, especially with departments like the school, that are not any real fault of their own so much as they are waiting for numbers from the state. But I do feel like this year of all years, we need to get our ducks in a row as early as possible, because I don't want to be doom and gloom here, but there could be a sizable gap. So, yes, two in the back. Come on, I just need to, to make it official, we always need name and address.
Paul Stratner, 117 Fuller Street.
Gotcha.
So, just for clarification, the litigation that you're referring to
Sure.
is about the MBTA, our non-compliance with the MBTA.
Correct.
Has anybody won that case against the state?
Our cases, so some cases were lumped together, towns
Yep.
were lumped together.
Yep.
We are our own case. So we are waiting to see what that decision will be.
Okay.
So,
But
My-
your answer is no.
My point would, right, my point would be, we're probably going to lose, and that would add to the override, the cost of the override. Wouldn't it?
as far as,
Well, because of we
Missing out on grants.
the litigation that's been involved.
Sure.
And whatever we might then what's the next step? As I think Sam pointed out, it's possible that the state might come in and say, well, never mind the plan that you folks presented.
Here's our plan.
Here's our plan.
Right, here's our plan forced
So,
down at us.
what we're looking for is sensible, we felt that the town had a sensible plan. I don't know how much in the minority we were. Judging by that town meeting, we were very much in the minority.
It was very
But,
close, yeah.
It made sense.
Yep. I think,
Misinformation, a lot of misinformation.
A lot of disinformation. And I would have to say that, we did attend the information meeting, and they were contentious as well, which they shouldn't have been.
yeah,
John Bruno repeatedly tried to say, cool your jets.
yeah,
This is just for information. Nobody's voting on anything.
yeah.
So, I think you guys did a good job trying to put that forward. At the town meeting, there wasn't an opportunity. It was anybody who was for it was shouted down and was not given a chance to speak. No.
Hard to argue anything you said, sir. The only comment I would have, and it's not, I guess it's rhetorical because it's not argumentative at all, and I agree with you. There was probably a reason why that was one of the largest town meetings in Halifax, and the vote was so overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, while our presentation could have been beneficial and informative for either that vote or future discussion, future votes, I don't think much was going to change that night. That was, I don't want to say a mob mentality, but that was an overwhelming statement by about 99.5% of the attendees.
I don't disagree.
So while I appreciate the opportunity for someone who have been spoken, I don't think that was going to change.
Yeah.
And so while Hanson has reconsidered, I think Ellen might have said West Bridgewater. I know Marshfield was last night. I know Marshfield did this. I know Marshfield did the same last night. In my mind, I'm not sure how much has changed. I'm not sure that 710 to 12 would be flipped if we spent several $1,000s on a recall vote, which we can certainly do. Right now, it's open to litigation, and I think that the three of us or the three prior, having voted that, are comfortable in letting that play its course.
I guess
speak for anybody else.
I guess the last thing that I would say is I think that it would be helpful if the town knew what it was really costing not to adopt the plan.
Right.
So I'm not sure those figures are all in yet, but
weren't there
when they are,
weren't there numbers last year to the effect of around $350,000 to $400,000 in grants that were going to be lost? Is that right?
Was that correct?
So if we go on the high end of 425, 440,000, that's still a representative of 12% of the budget. There are other issues in.
A lot of money.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. I'm not discounting any money.
Yeah.
In tight times, every penny counts, but it's not as if that would solve the issue with the override. I don't want to pretend that that bridges the gap between where we are and where we would like to be without an override. Personally.
Right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, come on up. Jim, you're on deck.
Karina Burston, 117 Fuller Street. I guess I'm curious to know what the timeline is on the litigation, and are we going to find out a solution, or are we anticipating finding out the verdict prior to our having to
come into compliance. Bob, any insights?
The way courts work, there's no timeline, really.
They crawl at a snail's pace.
Yeah.
They don't move fast for anything.
I believe it's molasses uphill in the winter.
So, we're fighting this alone. We're not in with other towns.
Correct.
And I guess one of my big concerns is having been in litigation at some point, knowing what that might cost the town.
Sure.
I think you can tack on $100,000 at least to that, to the potential loss to the town.
And I would agree, and I think we made that known very well to the public.
Yeah.
That if this is the course that the town decides to go, there will be considerable legal fees, and there will be grants that are being lost.
Well, I appreciate your answering our questions.
No
I do
worries.
have one comment. I'm a big advocate of planning, and I think a lot of the misinformation that came around about the housing, what kind of housing it was going to be, how people were going to have their houses taken by eminent domain, how it would affect the town in terms of infrastructure, all of this could have been assisted with by having a master plan in place that people could reference and understand what the real issues were for water and all of those things.
So we have been earmarked a grant for a master plan, and it is not discretionary. It has been put into the actual budget. So that is one, correct me if I'm wrong, Bob, but it's one we will not lose.
No, it's on hold.
Unfortunately, though, all grants right now, given the uncertainty of the budget, are on hold. So while it has been awarded to Halifax, and it isn't a grant that we will lose because of our MBTA compliance, the state of the budget right now, they've put many, I don't know about all grants, but they've put many budgetary earmarks on hold. So we're waiting to see what comes out of it. So it's a waiting game, and I apologize. I wish we had more answers for you folks. I wish we could.
Sounds like that the budget is a hard one to figure out.
Just one other point to one of your questions, which was well taken. I don't know how much I can say, so I don't. Bob, stop me here. But
We'll get the hook
the
ready.
legal budget was adjusted last year prior to solving it to A, increase the legal budget, but B, we also renegotiated our contract with legal counsel.
Right.
At that time, to offset some other things. I don't know how much I don't know how much.
Yeah.
So, it was thought of prior to budget
There was some-
consideration.
there was some foresight.
And it was factored into FinCom's approval of or recommendation of an approval of the budget.
Well,
So it
good
wasn't
job.
completely blind, and we didn't just not think about the extra expense.
Right.
It was factored in prior,
Well,
in anticipation.
good. Good job then. But yes, it's still a concern in terms of
Agreed.
the money, and we're all taxed, having been at these presentations, people get up and say, it's my money, I'm a taxpayer.
Sure.
We're all taxpayers. And we all have a need to be able to make a point in front of the town council. So,
I think the fear was the motivating factor in that town meeting. They just put all that fear out there and
It
everyone
was.
swallowed it all up.
yeah, and it's too bad. So anyway.
And to your point, it's not a perfect analogy, but on the point of misinformation, I personally, not the board here, but myself as a resident, tried to bring the Community Preservation Act here to Halifax.
Yeah.
Which I think is a fantastic program.
Yeah.
And that died at the ballot.
Yeah.
And I would argue a lot of it was because of misinformation. So
And fear.
it's a challenge. That's one of the biggest challenges we have up here,
Yeah.
is to get the information out. And not only, as Tom said, to get it out, but to get people to actually look and listen and be engaged. It's tough.
Yeah.
I will say, if we are heading to an override route, I see some very smart, engaged people here in this room. So if that is the route that we are taking,
We'll try.
I would hope that some folks here will pick up the charge and jump on board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, anything else, guys? A great dialogue. Oh, I'm sorry, Jim Walters, this is the chair of our FinCom right here. So this is the answer man. No pressure, Jim.
So just 2 points. The first one is regarding the override. So we have done some rough order of magnitude between revenue and appropriations, and based on what we appropriated last year and what our estimated revenues are for this year. So we're somewhere in between. Now, these are not final numbers, so this is just a rough order of magnitude. Possibly $4.5 to $5 million short is what we're going to be. And that's based
rough.
on.
That's rough now, before everybody goes crazy on that number.
Right. It's very,
That is an early
these
estimate.
are just very early numbers. Okay, so just to be clear,
Before the paper goes wild.
The other piece that I want to communicate is that the Finance Committee and myself were at a training session this past Saturday for the Association of Town Finance Committees, and the town administrator for Easton was there. His town had a $7.3 million override that was voted overwhelmingly at town meeting for, like 80% of people voted for it. But when it got to the ballot box, it got shot down 2-1. So,
to speak to Jim's point, it's easy to stand there when you have your green card and say yes, right? Because you don't want to put the red card up and look around and see who's voting red and who's voting green. So to Jim's point, you see that ballot phenomenon where, sure, everybody's holding up their red card, their green card, but then when they get to the ballot and it's just them in the booth.
right. When you're by yourself, it's a different story.
Right.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
If we need this override and it doesn't pass,
Mm-hmm.
then what?
Well, so the policy is we're going to create 2 budgets, one with the override approved, one without it approved. And if it's not approved, then we'll go forward with the budget that doesn't have one, and that's going to be like reductions most likely.
Right. Cuts and stuff. Will you be sure to let us know what those numbers are?
Well, as we get closer, as the budget starts coming in, as we said, we've already got the budget letter out to the towns and the department heads. So as those start coming in, we're going to have probably a better idea of where we're going to land.
We're here to help however we can.
Thank you, guys.
Right. No, we certainly do appreciate that. So, we're all working hard. Bob and the finance committee and all the department heads are really kind of, we have to sharpen our pencils more than we did last year because we were able to find something to kind of close the gap a bit. But I don't think it's going to be there this year.
Right.
So,
I- oh.
just for a quick back.
Sure.
For $4.5 or $5 million. How many people are living in Halifax?
7,532.
$5 million override. A $5 million override would be approximately $1,772 per year.
Right.
So it's about $2.90 a day per household.
Yeah. It's
$150 a month.
It's sizable. But again, I don't want to put the cart before the horse here, guys. And this happens a lot. You'll hear communities where they say, "Oh, everyone's going to be paying $2,000 on their extra tax." So I don't want to. It's hard. You want to get the information out there, but you got to make sure it's the accurate information because that will only, again, to our points, that will only spread misinformation, right? So we just got to make sure that. I appreciate Jim giving us a forecast because we have one of the best FinComs around, but we got to make sure that we're getting our good numbers.
Right, we want to get the good numbers out there, right? So again, as I said, these are very, very preliminary.
Yeah.
And also, let's also bear in mind that overrides are only temporary. It's only going to handle that specific year because as costs continue to rise, both with equipment, services, people, salaries, etc., it's not going to be the same amount the next year. It's going to be more.
And what you're seeing in a lot of communities, to dovetail this, Jim, you're seeing overrides to not only help with the immediate year, but for a couple years, just because the financial forecast over the next few years is not very good. So what would be a worst case scenario in my mind is if we go out to an override, it covers us for 1 year, and then we go out for an override again, that does, in my opinion, doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So.
Will we be clear when people in town understand what we're losing?
Yes, I will say
I think
yes.
that's the biggest problem. People think those fears are all made up to make them vote, and they're not. They don't understand there's real consequences. Yep.
And I will say too, we just had a great presentation with police and fire here. Our first responders and emergency personnel are essentially operating at minimum staffing now.
Right.
At minimum staffing now. So if we're looking at cuts to either of those services, that's going to have a dramatic effect on response times, on public safety. So that is something that needs to get out there.
I live in Twin Lakes, so I was there. Yeah, not obviously physically right there, but a lot of us were outside as the rescue was going on. And it was scary, and they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Really,
No, we're lucky. We're lucky we have a great crew. Yeah.
The only thing I would just say to your comment over, you phrased it, will the public understand? I think from the town perspective, I think we'll do everything we can to put the information out there. Whether people choose to read the mail, log on to the website, attend the meeting is different than will they understand. I think as soon as we know anything from this table and the Finance Committee provides information to us, as soon as those are hard numbers, I think we'll make every effort to get it out there. who absorbs that? Who chooses to put the time in to attend the meeting, read the warrants, dig a little on the website? You know, it costs money to put a mailer out. Those warrants, to put it up, which is state law, cost money. We can put flyers out, that costs money. All of that costs money. How people absorb and understand the knowledge or the information that we're giving them, we're making available, is different than will they understand. The opportunity, I'd like to think that we do everything impossible to put it in your hand, everybody's hands. But how that's interpreted is up to the public.
Sorry, I didn't see who had it up first. Frank, I'm going to let the ladies go first, though. Go right ahead.
Just a question, just because of something that you said a few minutes ago about sort of the mob mentality that was at the vote evening. That's where people were getting scared, or even at the presentations, the informational meetings, which you guys held, and as you said, wonderful information was given. He gave very specific information and described it very well. But once the mob, so to speak, gets to take over, the momentum just grows so much that no one, not you guys, not anybody, is able to control it. And just like you were saying, with the red and green pieces of paper, people get scared. I mean, all of us know people at that meeting who were for the rezoning and just didn't raise their hand because they were so scared by the surrounding. I mean, as we said that night, we were actually scared. Like, it actually, the energy in that room made us feel scared that night. It was so high. I mean, I don't know how different it felt, you guys being up front and us being in the audience, but I know it intimidated people. Is there any way to do? No.
Well, I mean, hold on, Tom.
We have open meetings.
So a town meeting is run by the moderator.
Yeah.
And there are things that a moderator can do to try to, because no one should feel afraid at a town meeting. That's crazy. There are steps that he can take. He could do an Australian ballot, where it's not everybody, so everybody sees, so there are steps that the moderator can take. We don't have, when it gets to town meeting, guys, we don't really control it. It's the town it's the town meeting moderator. It's their show. So those are steps that person can take if they so choose to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Given the need for funds in the town, and given the sort of the public reluctance to pay taxes, let's say, what are the other options for revenue in the town besides personal taxes? And is there a plan in terms of like promoting businesses or?
I mean, I do think we have increased revenue coming. We do have the Thorndike property, which will generate tax revenue. We do have a couple businesses being built here in town that will help with revenue. Unfortunately, I don't see the gap being able to be bridged just with those increased revenues that we have. But we're all ears. I mean, if anybody's got any ideas, no idea is a bad idea. So throw it out. We'll try and figure it out.
I mean,
together.
there are just some things fundamentally that, I don't know the ins and outs, but if we raise property taxes 2.5%, but the fixed cost of health insurance and pension costs go up 9%, we're chasing 6.5% before we start. So that's difficult, and not having commercial growth to offset that deficit only puts us further behind. It's not an excuse, but I'm just commenting that if we're only allowed to do 2.5 and we're chasing a bigger number to start, we're chasing our tail before we even get to July 1st.
The phrase that folks use is a fiscal cliff, right? Where, to Tom's point, it's 2.5%, but your costs are way more than that 2.5%. All you're doing is stretching that difference over years, and it's finally catching up with almost every community in the state right now. So, absolutely.
No question.
This is not a problem unique to Halifax.
And that's why you hear about overrides everywhere. That's why you hear about things. Halifax is not unique in this situation, for sure.
Yeah.
The one thing that's a little different for us is we do have two separate school committees, two separate school entities to consider, both the Halifax Elementary and the regional school. So those are two different school systems. I don't know the exact number, Frank or Jim might know it, but the overwhelming majority of our budget each year is the combination of Halifax Elementary and Silver Lake.
54%? About 54% of our budget is school.
Which I think is higher than other towns in comparison based on percentage.
And of the 54% of the school budget, 70-something% of that is just the cost of labor and fixed costs.
Sure.
So that's a large, so those,
There's
there's
not a lot of leeway. Yeah, yeah. So it's going to be a challenge, and I'm encouraged that we have some bright people here in the room that are ready to take up the mantle. So that's awesome.
And no idea is a bad one. I would just say, throw them out there.
Absolutely. And Tom got a new car, so we have some excise tax coming in
Tomorrow.
He's
Excise
already
tax
helping.
tomorrow, Tom?
New cars, we'd like to excise those.
I just wanted to say one thing. For people to get educated, all this stuff that we do is on Area 58, YouTube, on the town website, and we hold our budget meetings every other week, and when budget season comes, we hold them every week. And it's rare, if anything, to have citizens on our Zoom meetings, because we do them via Zoom, except for once a month we have in person. We don't have people that can see what we're doing because they don't attend.
Sure.
And you want to see the nuts and the bolts, attend those meetings.
Yeah.
Real time.
I will say that is a frustrating thing for me at every town meeting where the budget is being presented. It's a budget that these guys have tirelessly worked on for months and months and months, and you get somebody to stand up at the town meeting and what about this and that? It's like, where have you been? Where have you been? Like they've been going over this for months. So it is a frustrating phenomenon.
We're talking about, in our meetings, budget numbers even before budget season starts. As soon as it ends, we're already talking about the upcoming year and the year after. We're talking about where we at year to date in the budgets, all of that. So it's happening, but nobody ever attends. Nobody ever asks any questions to fully understand what we're doing and how the town and what it takes to operate the town. There's only so many dollars
Sure.
to operate this town. And when the schools are taking 54% of it, that doesn't leave much to continue with the town operations.
Sure. And to dovetail that point really quick, because I know we're spending a lot of time on this. Jim, you have a section in your meeting where you have public comment. So anybody that has public comment or feedback to give our finance committee that has helped putting this budget together, you have, how many times you meet a month? Once, twice? Depends on the season, twice. You have twice a month. You can log on from the comfort of your home and make your feelings known. So I urge people to do it.
And to use your word, Jonathan, to dovetail that point, I think this is the most public participation we've had, and perhaps the largest attended meeting we've had since May as well.
Correct.
So we know it's a hot button issue, but there are things that lead up between May and now that often go under talked about or under the radar. So I would encourage all of you, and tell a friend and bring a cup of coffee, to attend a finance committee meeting or a zoning board or a board of selectmen or a library board of trust, whatever it is that piques your interest, the water commissioners on a Tuesday afternoon. Because I think meetings like this are productive, but happen too few and too far between, and things get lost in translation a little bit. So something like this, when we're only looking at, I don't know, 11 or 10 people out here, is great, but it's about 3 times as many people as we usually have once the room clears on a special agenda item. So thank you all for your participation and concern from my point of view.
Absolutely. This was great. Thank you. Yeah, this was fantastic. Thanks for coming. And you're welcome to stay. I don't know how exciting it's going to be, but there are a couple more things to do. All right, we're going to move down to C, which is discussion for continuation of search for a permanent town administrator and possible vote to engage Community Paradigm Associated LLC. So just a quick refresher on this. We had a search done, was it July or August, guys, over the summer, where we had a candidate lined up to be our next town administrator. That candidate withdrew their name in the search, so we are looking at going back out. I will say I was a fan of waiting a little bit to see if the talent pool would turn over a little bit. So we have now since had a new agreement with Community Paradigm. They are going to pick up the search again. We are going to use the same search committee, screening committee rather, to screen the candidates. Pretty much the same formatting as we've done before, and they are going to do this, Community Paradigm is going to do this at no extra cost to the town, which I think is fantastic. Anything from the board? I know you guys we have a new contract to look at. Just want to make sure that you guys are comfortable going forward. To give a quick timeline, where was that? You have it right here?
November, December.
Yeah, so it would be November, December. So we'll be accepting applications through November, and then December 1st or 2nd or so, we would have the screening committee conduct interviews for semifinalists to select some finalists. And then they would be presented to the Board of Selectmen December 12th. And then we would meet here December 17th. It would be a special meeting for the Selectmen to conduct the final interviews for the candidates to make a selection of the town administrator by December 22nd. An early Christmas present for the town, hopefully. And that's the timeline. So we have put together a new contract with Community Paradigm, and I just think we need to take a vote to
you want to mention
accept that contract. And then, yes?
When you were taking applications for the screening committee,
Yes.
I handed one in, and I never heard anything back. And then when I reached back out to town hall, they told me that a decision had been made on the 8th, which was like a week. It was like a week before that. And I didn't hand in my application by the date that it was supposed to be handed in by.
I don't, Pam, any idea on that one? I know we had in front of us all the applications that were submitted. I don't know, I apologize if that was lost in the shuffle. I don't know. Jim, do you have Frank, do you have an answer to that? Or?
I would just say that those have to go to Bernie.
What's that?
No.
No.
For the committee.
To be on the screening committee. Yeah. Screening committee. She doesn't want to be town administrator. No. So, no, that was, again, I apologize. I don't know. I know that we were given the list of submitted applicants, so I apologize for that. Yep.
Now, John, is everyone in the screening committee going to stay the same? Or?
So because we're doing specific dates, we have offered the invitation out to the original screening committee that we had, but we're waiting to see if those dates conflict with members of the screening committee, and they might not be able to make it. If they don't make it, I basically said no harm, no foul, and we'll get them next time. So that's kind of the...
We don't want to lose our two good members.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Waldorf and Stadler, I like to call them right here. Yeah, but no, in all seriousness, so we just want to keep this ball rolling. And I know scheduling, especially in December and November, it's hard. So rather than keep pushing things back to try to get everybody, I think it's in the best interest of the town if we get a majority of people just to get those dates hard and fast on the calendar to keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And this is being done at no additional cost, but this
No
would
additional
be-
cost.
This is the last rerun of this contract.
This is the last rerun. And I will say, Community Paradigm has been great to the town of Halifax in that we've had a run of town administrators lately, where we've had folks, Cody was fantastic, but we've had folks before that were here quickly and then we're gone quickly. And they did searches for us, follow-up searches at no additional cost as well. So they are a friend, I will say a friend to Halifax, and have given us a pretty good fair shake with the amount of searches they've done for us and follow-up pro bono searches over the last couple of years. He says to rush applause, everybody claps. The other thing that we'd like to mention too is that this guy to my left here should never buy a drink in the town of Halifax again, because Bob Fennessy has come in and really plugged a huge hole for us. So originally when we brought Bob in, we had the initial contract with Bob was to expire right around Halloween. Well, because the search has taken a little longer and we had a candidate withdraw, it's taking a little bit longer than we all have liked. So Bob has agreed to stay on until the end of this calendar year, which is fantastic news for Halifax. So we have come up with basically an extension of the current contract we have with Bob to extend it out to roll until the end of the year. The idea being, Hopefully, we get some quality candidates and we're able to get somebody in position as soon as possible. But at least now we know we're covered at least until the end of this year. And if unfortunately we don't find a candidate again this time around, Bob has been gracious enough to at least come to the table and see about extending further if those are the cards that were dealt. So we have both of those to basically discuss tonight and vote on. So I guess I will entertain a motion to I will entertain a motion to sign the new agreement with Community Paradigm Associated LLC.
So moved.
Second.
Authorizing you to sign.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? I also will make a motion to make our interim town administrator, Bob Fennessy, the signing authority for said contract.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, and then what was the other one we had? Was yours, right?
Yeah, Pam has it.
Okay, and Pam has it. And we've signed that as well, so we don't need any sort of vote or anything tonight, Bob, in the meeting. So that has been signed. So again, good news for Halifax that this guy's sticking around for at least the end of the year. So,
What does that pay for?
yes, which one did I give you? This one? Okay. All right. Moving on, we're going to go down to E, which is Mary King of Brewery 44, request for one-day liquor licenses for the following days: October 24th, 2025, October 25th, 2025, October 31st, 2025, November 1st, 2025, November 28th, 2025, November 29th, 2025, and November 30th, 2025. So these are liquor licenses for the farm at Ravenbrook. They like to do their fall festivals, essentially. So I know they've been, let me just make sure that they've been okayed by the proper folks.
Yeah, they have.
They have been, Pam? Okay, so they've been vetted by police, fire, all those folks? I haven't been to one myself. I've been down there to get a Christmas tree, but I know folks that have gone down. They say it's a fantastic time. You know, have a nice cold drink. Listen, I know they do a lot of live music, and you're out in the elements, out in the woods, having a great time. So I think it's fantastic.
Nice operation down there.
Nice operation.
For this year.
Yep.
I've been there a couple times now. It's well-run
Great.
operation.
Great. So we have reports here from, you know, as I said, first responders, police, fire, folks that check off on it. Do we have one that's missed?
That's the only one I have.
I got it right here.
Yeah, this one isn't checked off.
Right, because that,
Just want to make sure that they've all been checked off. And what we sometimes do is we will sometimes give, you know, subject to approval by police and fire.
Police and fire.
In case they haven't been okay. So,
Police and fire.
all right, good. Yeah, so we have police and fire signed off. So, any other discussion from the board? No? All right, I will entertain a motion for the listed dates.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimous. All right, and again, we have an approval of minutes.
You missed one.
What did I miss?
D.
Oh, I apologize, guys. Yes, I checked it off premature. I apologize. We're going to go back to D. Sorry about that. Good catch, Bob. All right, this is D, the discussion of discrimination policy proposed and notification through website and town hall lobby digital display. Just something that we want to drive home here in Halifax, that we do not discriminate basically on any sort of religion, sex, gender, orientation, basically anything. And it's just always a good refresher to make that public. And what we're going to be doing is putting that policy up on our video board for folks that have come into town hall. You'll see that now on the board as you walk in. And I'm looking for, Bob, here it is, a motion. I got it. So we're going to be putting public notice on our website. We're going to be putting it on the electronic board, just to get word out that, again, Halifax is a community that doesn't discriminate, always good practice. So I will read it here. The town of Halifax is committed to ensuring that all individuals have equal access to town properties, services, and programs. In accordance with the Americans with Disabilities Act and Massachusetts state law, the town provides reasonable accommodations to individuals with disabilities to facilitate their full participation in civic life. Assistance will be available upon request for individuals seeking a reasonable accommodation, And if anybody has any sort of information they need, you can request it from our ADA coordinator. That is this guy, Mr. Bob Fennessy for the town of Halifax. I'm going to read his number just into the record here, 781-294-1316. You can also email him at bob.fennessy, Fennessy, at halifaxma.gov. So, wanted to read that. And I will entertain a motion here to accept the statement and to authorize the interim town administrator to place that following message on the electronic message board by the entranceway of Town Hall.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimous. Sorry I missed that on the agenda. All right, we're cooking. We just did E. All right, so we have approval of minutes. We've read the minutes for August 18th, so I will entertain a motion to approve Selectmen meeting minutes for August 18th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimous. And now, the highlight of every meeting, our town administrator update. Bob Fennessy, take it away.
Okay. So I have a few things to go over. First, I've been notified that the hydrant flushing had been delayed somewhat due to a treatment plant issue, as well as scheduling conflicts with ongoing projects. And an official notice was going to be sent out later this evening. So just so if you're waiting for that to happen, it hasn't happened in your area yet, it will happen, but they're just backed up a little bit. This week, we received a letter from the Mass Department of Transportation, the DOT, regarding the town's request for a heavy commercial vehicle exclusion order on Old Plymouth Street between Plymouth Street and Elm Street. The request is being placed on hold. Our request is being placed on hold until further information and documentation is provided to MassDOT. The traffic study will get this again, and we'll be reviewing and we'll be compiling the additional information and taking actions necessary to receive that certification. We also had a resignation of the building inspector, Joe Bragner, a few weeks ago. We were able to go out and obtain an interim to come in and handle the inspections and zoning infractions while we seek a permanent commissioner. Last week, the board held a meeting and voted to employ Rod Palmer, who currently also works in Carver. Rod will be working a few days a week as we get caught up on past inspections, and will be a welcome addition to staff. Very personable and knowledgeable. He was not able to make the meeting tonight, but if you want to get a look and hear what he has to say, you can go online on Area 58 and watch the Selectmen's meeting of October 17th. Also want to acknowledge the resignation of ZBA member Peter Parcellin. Peter served the town in the capacity for 14 years, working with other members of the ZBA for the benefit of the whole town. So thank you, Peter, for your commitment to service and to anybody that steps forward to help the town.
I would entertain a motion for the board if we wanted to write a letter of thank you to Peter. It was 14 years on the ZBA. That's a long time. So didn't know if the board would be okay if we put a letter of thanks to Peter for his service to the town of Halifax.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Make that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes unanimous. Thank you.
Okay, and this was talked about earlier, just reiterate that departmental budget packages were sent out to department heads at a department head meeting on October 8th, the earliest time that I'm aware of that this has been done. The departments are being asked to prepare two budgets, the first being a level service budget, the second being a 10% reduction. Budgets are due back to me before December 11th. And it's earlier than normal, but I want to make sure that the Finance Committee and I have a time to go over these, because it is going to be a very difficult budget season. And the department heads are well aware of that, and they're all stepping forward to get on board and try and make this work. The COA building project, just to update that, its process is moving along pretty good. A few weeks ago, we received 9 proposals for the design of the building. Most that this group has received, not our group, but the group who was facilitating this, has received in a COA building. So that's excellent, especially where it's a small contract, a small process. But to get 9, they were very pleased. They went over them and brought it to the building committee today. We had a meeting this afternoon, the municipal and school building committee and I, and they narrowed down the candidates to four kind of not finalists, but the ones that'll be given opportunity for interviews.
Excellent,
So those interviews will take place next week.
excellent.
And they'll score each company, each package, and they'll come up with the top one. And they'll move forward with that one to start negotiating a contract with them.
So that doesn't come to us at all?
So it doesn't, it will, but not for a vote. I mean,
So the
they have
vote is determined by the
authority
Building and
to
Maintenance
vote.
Committee?
Yeah. Building and, the school and.
Is that what was said previously? Is that how it goes?
Yeah, you know, that's my understanding from the committee and from the contractor that we have assisting. And I don't know if anybody knows anything differently.
I thought
too, yeah.
I thought we talked about it at the last meeting in the Building and Selectmen's room, that
Yeah, I may have,
when there was 9, it was narrowed down to 2 or 3 that appeared before us for interviews.
we can do that.
I'm not suggesting that,
Yeah.
I just want to clarify the process. I thought that's different than what I remembered.
Yeah, and maybe I misspoke, thinking that that's how most towns are, it goes to the select board. But apparently here it goes to the
was-
building committee.
Do we know, I can look at, what's the committee called?
Called the,
The Building and Maintenance?
no
School
maintenance, it's a school,
municipal building.
municipal and school building committee.
We have a hand here. Sure.
Jim Walters, Orchard Circle. I would really think it would benefit the town itself if we had like a department-wide policy that all contracts went to the administrator and the selectmen for approval and not the department heads, because I think that's just a better way to control costs. I don't know if that, I don't believe it's that way now.
Yeah, department heads don't sign contracts. Yeah, department heads don't sign contracts, they come to me.
Okay.
This is a committee. Is this an elected committee in town? Or is it
I don't think so.
I think it's appointed.
Appointed, yeah.
I think, but don't hold me to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I believe it is too.
yeah, so, but look,
Steve Hayward, didn't Steve Hayward sign contracts? Because that was a question a couple of selectmen meetings ago, I think, when he was in here talking about contracts that were signed without a not-to-exceed number.
yeah, maybe because that's an enterprise fund? Like an elected official? No, it's an elected official?
He's elected, that's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's not appointed, he's
so he's
elected.
not appointed by the board.
So you're saying that elected officials can sign contracts?
Generally, if they have that authority in the bylaws.
But I don't know if we.
So you'd have to look at all the bylaws.
Or if they were
But
elected.
let me check into that, Tom.
Well, the committee members on the Municipal School Building Maintenance and Committee are appointed to a 3-year term, and there are 5 of them.
Yep. Yep.
Can we check on
Yeah, I'll
who's
check.
approving that are you saying that maybe of the 4, they get 1, and if 1 comes before us for a vote?
Yes.
Wouldn't it
So narrow it
be
down.
more productive if they recommended 2, and then they got to us for a decision?
They could. Usually what happens is the good one filters up to the top, you know, but we could. I mean, you know, it's,
No, it's fine.
Do we want to, what's the timeline on this, Bob?
so next week is the next level where they're narrowing down.
Narrowing it down.
Yeah.
Could we have that committee narrow it down to Tom's
2?
idea of a couple, of 2?
We could, yeah.
Yeah? Essentially like
And
the,
initially, I think that's what we talked about.
yep,
But, you know, again, the consultant we're using is saying that generally it doesn't go
doesn't go to the,
that, but
okay.
we can.
I mean,
You know, the goal was, we're trying to like streamline it.
yeah, it's much like the screening committee we have for the town administrator, like, they're appointed for a reason.
But the exception is that these guys are putting candidates before us. These guys are putting a candidate with a controlled bid in front of them.
With one.
Right, so if this guy's bidding 5 million, this guy's bidding 4.8.
Well, this isn't for
No,
the building.
that's
This is
not for the
only
building.
design.
But whatever, but it's a contract.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're authorizing money, to Jim's point, to be spent, whereas the search committee is recommending candidates to be placed to the next round.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's- there is
apples
a
and
difference
oranges.
there.
It's apples and oranges, you're right. Yeah, I mean, if we could, at that meeting, ask them to maybe present a couple,
Yeah.
instead of the one, that'd be great. That's something the board wants to do.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Okay. And finally, the police and fire departments will be participating in a trunk or treat on
right.
Saturday, October 25th, from 4 to 6 at the Congregational Church Town Hall parking lot.
Always a good time.
So come down and get your candy.
Always a good time.
And that's it.
Awesome. I want to end with a quick shout out, if that's okay. I recently participated in a fall cleanup with our Halifax Beautification Committee. Big shout out to them. They do yeoman's work to try to help keep our streets clean, to help Halifax be aesthetically pleasing. I know they're looking at an island program where you can adopt an island and keep that island. So shout out to them, and also a hope to everyone that take pride in your community. If you got 5 minutes, 10 minutes to spare, try and hit your neighborhood, clean it up a little bit. So many hands make light work. So shout out to our Halifax Beautification Committee. Anything else from the board?
I would throw out a similar shout out. It's a little bit different level, but I had the luxury of attending last Friday night with my wife and 2 kids, the Halifax Halloween Social at Halifax Elementary School. And just 2 things stuck out to me. He wasn't here tonight that I saw, but Officer Simpson is the resource officer over there at Halifax Elementary, and he's
the mayor.
He's terrific with the
He
children.
is, yeah.
And also, I think that the school new principal, Brian Prenna, is off to a pretty good start over there. He attended both the kindergarten social. He was there all evening dressed up, very engaged. There was a lot of children, very well attended. Kudos to the PTO. I know the school is often a hot topic where we just highlight 54% of the budget, but at the end of the day, you had about 300 or 400 school-age kids from 6 to 12 running around for Halloween, which at the end of the day is part of why Halifax is a good town to raise your children in. The town came together. Officer Simpson and the administration and the PTO did a great job.
Nice. Bill, you want to throw some love out there? Or are you good?
No, I got nothing.
All right. Attaboy. All right. With that said, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourns at 7:35 PM. Thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it.